Last time I was telling you what I learned from the owl documentary I watched the other day. I want to finish telling you all I now know about owls. I learned that not all owls hoot. Owls can make many other sounds such as screeches, whistles, barks, growls, rattles, and hisses. When they have babies in their nest, you can often hear owl calls up to a mile away. Female owls generally have higher-pitched voices than their mates. Most owls do not migrate, but some can go for long distances searching for the best food sources. Like the snowy owl. It can travel regularly outside of its home area to search for food. Snowy owls are also known as the polar owl, the white owl, and the Arctic owl. They are large white owls that live in the Arctic regions of both North America, North Africa, and north of the Himalayan mountains. It has its babies mostly on the tundra. Snowy owls can live for 10 years or more in the wild and over 30 years in captivity. I personally think the snowy owls are the most beautiful of the owls. Owls are carnivorous. They eat other animals, including small rodents, insects, fish. Few owls eat other birds, though. That is called being oviparous. The reason they don't is only because the birds they would eat as prey are not active when owls typically hunt, which is at night. The owl's diet may also include frogs, lizards, snakes, rabbits, squirrels, and other creatures. A great horned owl might even eat a skunk. Great horned owls can take even larger prey. They'll take a seahawk, not a football player, but a raptor, which is also called an osprey. They'll capture falcons like peregrine falcons or prairie falcons. And they will capture other owls too. Like other owls, they eat rodents and frogs, but they also eat scorpions. To open the grip of a great horned owl's talons, you would need to apply a force of at least 28 pounds. They are fierce predators. The great horned owl lives 10 to 13 years in the wild and over 25 years in captivity. Owls swallow their prey whole or tear them into large pieces, but they cannot digest fur, teeth, bones, or feathers. After eating, prey owls will spit out pellets of fur, bones, and other material they cannot pass through their stomachs. Many owls are extremely territorial, especially when they have babies in their nests. Owls will attack anything and anyone they might consider a threat to their babies. Most female owls are larger, heavier, and more aggressive than the males. If a male and female owl of the same type have a different appearance, the female is often more colorful than the male. Owls have their babies in the winter, and baby owls are called owlets. There are usually around 4 eggs in an owl's nest. Owlets are born naked of feathers or fur, but they quickly develop a very thin covering of down. They are still unable to keep themselves warm, so the mother owl sits on them to keep them warm until they're around 3 weeks old. By 3 weeks old, an owlet can swallow a whole shrew or small mouse. And the down they have at birth is replaced by a thicker down, which allows them to keep themselves warm. By 5 weeks, they can run, jump, pounce, hiss, and click their tongues. They can move their heads from side to side, round and round, and even look upside down. Their heart-shaped face disc appears and their flight feathers can be seen underneath the white fluffy down. They begin flapping their wings, sending tiny bits of white fluff in all directions. By 8 to 9 weeks, the owlets are making short flights. And by 10 weeks of age, most young barn owls look like owls and can fly really good. At this point, they start play hunting. So they may pounce on anything that moves. Their parents don't teach them how to hunt, they learn by their own instincts. At around 12 weeks old, the owlets start to fly further and further away from the nest and home area. At around 13 weeks old, they leave to find their own home area. By 14 weeks, almost all the owlets have left their parents' home area. The barn owl is the owl found most widely in the world. A barn owl usually lives 4 to 9 years in the wild and up to 15 years in captivity. They live almost everywhere except for polar and desert regions. Asia north of the Himalayas, some islands of Indonesia, and some Pacific islands. The burrowing owl lives in Alberta and Saskatchewan, Canada, and like to live in a prairie environment. This small owl lives in abandoned gopher, prairie dog, fox, coyote, and badger holes. In summer, they can be found from the Midwest to the eastern parts of the Pacific United States and into Canada. In winter, they are found in Central America and Mexico. But burrowing owls can be seen year-round in Florida, Mexico, and parts of South America, though not in the Amazon rainforest. The largest owl in the world is the Blakiston fish owl. Adult male weighs about 3.5 kilograms, and the slightly bigger female is up to 4.6 kilograms. The Blakiston's wingspan's up to 200 centimeters, which is 80 inches or over 6 feet long. Wow, their wings are as tall as my dad. The great gray owl is the world's longest type of owl. It lives across the northern hemisphere, and it is found in both the eastern and western hemispheres. Barred owls nest in cavities of trees, measuring 6 to 12 meters high or 36 feet high. They live only in forests where the trees have been for a long time, so there are lots of prey already living there for them to eat. Barred owls live 8 to 10 years in the wild and over 20 years in captivity. So that's all I learned about owls. Send me a message to let me know what you've learned too. Talk to you next time.
Night, night, silent flyer of the sky. Sleep tight,